Psst, psst. You. Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Are you tired of the same old podcasts with the same old panels and the same old rhetoric? So am I. So come spend time with me, where you can have a laugh, be entertained, and learn something. I'm your host, Nova, and welcome to School of Thought. Class is in session. Oh my God. Hello, everyone. I am here and I'm early. Does everybody see my makeup? Look, doesn't it look nice today? Not too shabby for an old broad, right? That's what I get called anyway. So, how is everybody doing this holiday season? We have updates to talk about. We got things also to look at the news. And I got some stuff going on that I'm getting ready. I stuck my computer to get fixed. So, oh my goodness, hopefully I can use this bad boy once again. Isn't it beautiful? Yes, it is. Don't mind the dust on there. I still miss it. My 7 dB. I want to get back to recording vocals too. So let's say hi to everyone in the chat because I see a couple. Oh my goodness, Sean, you found me. I did not advertise except for an autonomy. I'm putting on my readers at the moment. Yes, I'm blind now without them. Thanks to having children. It works that way. Yes, it does. Gas mask, you are early today. No spankings for you for being tardy. I like that. Now, the only thing you forgot was to bring the teacher a present. Okay, next time, I'll let it slide this time. Free is back. Tyrone, I miss you, honey. Sean, you are always the best and the bomb. All right, let me take these back off for a few minutes because they actually are bothering my eyes. I'm waiting for my new pair and I will look more like Harry Potter. Won't you love that? You know, I actually talked to the broad who was helping me that day. I was like, what about contacts? Which I got a real problem with eye stuff, okay? But I'm getting desperate. Like, I want to be able to, I'm a really good artist. And I want to get back to drawing and, you know, all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, damn, all those little teeny lines used to be so clear. And so she told me, well, contacts are okay, but let me tell you, I've scratched my cornea 3 times with them. I've had it lodged in my eyeball. And, you know, she's basically fueling all of my phobias all at once. So shout out to the sales, the sales girl. Honey, next time you don't want to tell people all the scary stuff because it's going to hurt your bottom line. All right. So I stuck my computer in. I mentioned it a moment ago. And I'm waiting to find out how much this big ass bill is going to be. He's estimating probably an extra 300 minimum because we're looking at 3 parts, 2 blown in there. And then I need to add a bigger hard drive because 1 terabyte or gigabyte is like 2 gigabytes, 3 gigabyte hard drive, some low end crap. I can't run all the Adobe stuff and whatnot that I would like to. I'm also ordered on a payment plan a new webcam. I originally had 2, but then I figured, my goodness, I'm getting over my head right now on how to set both of these up so I can pan 1 to the front, 1 to the side for a new extravaganza for verticals. I'm going to steal what you're doing, Angry Man. Thank you. But I'm going to steal how you're doing it the best that I can. And let's just say I'm not a total boomer, but when it's coming to setting up all of this new video crap, oh, I totally am because I never learned that stuff, okay? I learned art, software stuff, and how to nuke somebody else's system in the 90s as a kid and, you know, some other questionable activities, but I didn't learn to set up all this studio type equipment. I was the artist who rolled in and would record and somebody else did all that, right? And then, well, now I got to figure out how to do it myself. That's okay. We'll get her done. What else has been going on? I'm going to show you what this is. All right. I'm going to show you. Okay. My doctor that I presented, what was it, about 2 weeks ago? Now, she got me She's got me to take in this. Do you see this? Do you see this? This is not only bloody expensive, over 500 bucks. Yeah, I said it. But it removes like all of the mold and mildew and a bunch of other weird shit, crap out of your system. Whoops. Let's adjust our vocabulary. And it's wrecking me. It is wrecking me. Did I mention wrecking? Because wrecking ball. Yeah, it's wrecking me. And I don't mean like, oh, you know, problems in the bathroom or something. Oh, no, no. I would be happy if that was the problem. Oh, no. You take that and it's got two different competing gut bacteria going on. So you got the bad gut bacteria and you got all this really good gut bacteria stuff and all this cleaning out. And oh my God, it made me so sick to my stomach. So at the moment I've taken half and then I'll wait another hour or two and then I'll try the second half. I'm supposed to do it twice a day. No doing, ain't gonna happen. It's like, it's wrecking me, all right? Anyways, let's see what's going on also in the Powder Dusty. I need to figure out how to make you a mod, my friend. Well, aren't you married? All right, well, you're married, sir. But leave a comment because I am not in YouTube land. This is StreamYard land. Here, let me go to YouTube so I can add you, everyone. Bear with me for un momento, por favor, while I figure out how to add him as a mod to my station because, well, I need it every once in a while. And I like him, so that's what we're going to do. Oh my God, I can hear myself on my own stream. That's really annoying. All right, let's see. There you are. She'd help. Oh, I see. Okay, okay. How do I add you? It doesn't let me add you. Oh. Here we go. There we go. I got you. All right, there we are. All right, let me put on my 4 eyes one more time, and then we're going to start watching some of these lovely videos that I have set to the side, which I'm preparing for the new rollover for the new year and the new content. But for right now, we're going to have fun. And we are going to check out what's going on in the news, which is fun. I'll still do that from time to time and my grandiose opinions. But until then, we're going to still be doing other stuff. So, Toasty, man, bad. Love you, Toasty. I'm glad you're here. Spittle has my heart. Spittle is a wonderful person. We love you. All right. You'll catch it on Interplay. Okay, I understand. There's weather going around. All right. Yes, I've covered my guns at the moment. All right, let's add Tucker to the stage. Now, Milo Yiannopoulos is making a comeback. He probably needs money like everybody does. Did anybody also see that the Fed has lowered the rate? Yeah, they sure say they are. Well, what is it, a half a point, quarter of a point? I'll go find that out again later. I was listening to it in the shower. Now, you know, when they were talking about the economy and what's going on with the GDP and all of that crap, you know, part of where the so-called leveling playing field is going on with the job market is because of AI. The so-called stabilization is because you've got AI being introduced and taking over your jobs. You ready for that, kids? You're going to be obsolete. All of this manual labor and everything else that China and Japan and they've all been doing forever is going to be hitting us like nobody's business. Right along with all those data centers that's going to keep all your personal information and make you walk around with, you know, all of it here, as opposed to, I still like paper and pencil, I'm not going to lie. But if you're ever wondering why your power bill keeps going up, you can start thinking all these data centers and all of this AI and everything else that takes all of this power. So if you were wondering why we aren't getting those breaks in our power anymore, well, I just told you. And then when they start talking the liberal side and the alt conservative side starts talking about, oh, the job market's better. No, it's not. No, it's not. They're bullshitting you with all the propaganda. The cookbooks. Cookbooks, did you hear the term called cooked books? Yes, that's something that the mob has been doing forever and ever and ever and ever, which I'm not going to tell you how. However, that's for some of us to know and you to find out. However, they took the books and then they feed you a bunch of bullshit stats. And the truth is, only real stabilization in the job market, so-called less, the jobs not falling through the floor, is because of your AI. Yeah, right. That's right. So now let's listen to Yiannopoulos. Now he's going to bring a couple things up, which I'm going to go into. They call them handlers in the industry. Huh? What's that? I'll show you. I'll show you what a handler is in the entertainment industry. But we're going to touch into that. He's going to touch into the other aspect of, let's say, the gay men and their, let's just say, abhorrent nature towards women that I've been talking about because of my entertainment background for so many years. And I brought a receipt with me. I opened up a few boxes and I found a little thing that Brittany Murphy wrote to me. So when I told her to not be paying attention to what they're saying to her, that she was still beautiful and she was still worth it, and stop listening to all her handlers, wink, wink, she began to cry and thanked me for her positive words and said she hoped to see me again soon, which I'll be showing that later also. Let's cue up Tucker Carlson.
I don't know really anything about fashion, but I love beauty, of course.
But you don't see any of it on the catwalk.
Exactly. In fact, you see
the opposite.
You see the opposite. You see manufactured ugliness.
Gay men turning women into the demons they see themselves as. You see gay.
Did you hear that? Now you would say, well, that's because he's a conservative and he does a bunch of weird shit and he's celibate and all of that. You know what? Those are all personal choices. Okay. Celibacy is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes when you are out of control, the best thing that you can do is to rein and hone yourself in by some abstinence, whether it be drugs and alcohol, substance abuse, okay? All those things are tied into what is called OCD, obsessive compulsive behaviors, all right? Just like sex or anything else. Now, I've said for years, because you got to remember, when I was doing modeling and going towards the video girl, by the way, I was projected to be, among some other things, I was probably, my waist was probably a size 2. Yes, we're going there. My boobs were probably, my chest, like underneath the rib cage is like a 34 or something. I'm really small. And around the massive part was like, 40, 41 back then. I was probably about 25 pounds thinner, give or take. And my hip ratio was, very hourglass and very proportionate. My hips were not huge, even though I got a big old booty. My hips were still not huge, right? But even then, they still told me, oh, you need to lose another 10, maybe 15 pounds. Where was I going to lose it? I already had a 6-pack. I already had like 10% body fat. My muscle mass was huge. Like, where was I going to lose it at? And then they told me, well, you aren't blonde enough. And the only thing that I don't even like, okay, I don't really like J-Lo, all right, because she's full of shit. But the only thing she did do is help make having a bigger ass acceptable. All right, there we go. But if you think all these girls in the industry, whether it be music, whether it be modeling, whether it be print modeling, high fashion, low fashion, actresses, music, whatever the case may be, if you think that they aren't hearing the same exact shit that I was hearing a million years ago, and poor Brittany Murphy, and I don't like Ariana Grande, but it's happening to her. It's happening to women through males in the industry. That's where it's happening from. Males who don't like their competition, women. And I went on many a panel, discussing and confronting the issues and the lies that are going on in the quote unquote manosphere, men's spaces online. And they not knowing that most of that industry is ran by also homosexual men. So why would a homosexual man have your best interest as a straight man? They don't. It's bullshit. It's a lie. It's a money-making scheme. And so their competition is women, honey. And he's saying it right here. And it's the truth.
The most celebrated woman on the stage at the moment is the Gorgon opposite Ariana Grande, whose name I forget now. You know, the Nosferatu, like black Nosferatu, who's seems.
Have you seen that broad? And they made her into the Jesus Christ superstar. Talk about a spit in God's face, right? But have you seen her? She is the most creepy looking thing I have seen in quite some time. And that dumb girl is letting that thing all over her. Now, I'm not so nice, okay? I'm not that nice that I look at celebrities, and I've known many, many celebrities. I've met many celebrities, where all the rest of the fans out there going, oh, you need to help them, you need to do this, you need to do that. No, honey, they're right where they want to be, okay? They're right where they want to be. Most of them, they live a life of excess. They live a life of completely out of the realm of normal morality. And then they want everybody to feel bad for them. Now, I'm not talking about a normal, like somebody's being abused, somebody's being, you know, held hostage in a way or any of that type of stuff. No. But the general consensus of, like, say, Britney Spears posting a bunch of weird stuff. And now I saw on TikTok a bunch of dumb broads. Oh, we need to help her. No, you need to mind your own business. Okay. I'll tell you why you need to mind your own business, because everybody's been after Britney Spears' money forever. And that guy, Kevin, whatever his last name was, that tied on to her in the 90s and got her to have kids with him, which is, you know, because he's a fucking gold digger. He's still talking about the same thing. And anybody who would be in control of her would be in control of her money. Just because you're a little eccentric doesn't mean you don't have a right to be eccentric. Just because you do some weird shit doesn't mean everybody needs to do an intervention and step in there and take over your life for you. Leave the broad alone. She's right where she wants to be. She's got her money, and they've got access to things none of us do. So why do you give a shit? You know what I mean? Calm down, kids. Calm down. Let them live their life. They're fine. And if they're not fine, well, they lived a better life than most of us.
To be sucking the life force out of poor Ariana, who's I think going to die within the next few weeks. If you've seen that singer's physique lately,
haphazard. Welcome to my video. Why did it do this? What did it do? Sorry, it's been weird. Haphazard musicians, I'm glad to see you. Jeff Herbert, nice to see you. Gas mask again. Anybody else? She's preaching. I'm not preaching, but I'm preaching some other stuff at the moment.
This appalling.
That's a whole different stream. You want to see me preach as the preacher's daughter? Go visit my channel, The Preacher's Kid.
You know, with these
it's
claws,
in my community post.
You know, and you look at the silhouette and you're like, that's literally Nosferatu.
Thank you, Jeff.
It's literally Nosferatu. And I know a gay man did that. And of course, the gay man then put her on stage as Jesus Christ Superstar as our.
Never had any plastic surgery.
No, you've seen the post I'm talking about, right? No. Okay, well, you could look later, but it's this spindly, it's just straight up goblin-looking black woman. Like, and I, you know, I'm not trying to have like a Roseanne moment, although she was right. You know, whatever. But this woman is like, you know, ugly by any measure. She's just monstrous looking, right? Just what our mothers might have called deeply unfortunate, right?
Yeah.
I mean, practically circus level.
They are very firm. If I had have went full-fledged the way I was planning on, you would have got to see it in all its glory. Haphazard musician says, oh yeah, for real, Ariana looks like crap in my opinion. She does. She looks absolutely like crap, but I can step in there and save her. She's right where she wants to be, and she has a handler for a reason. You know what a handler is tied into? Luciferian. That's right.
And of course, she's the heroine of the billion-dollar franchise now, Wicked, and she's on stage as Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Which
so it's an act of hostility, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And so
hostility toward women, hostility towards God, hostility towards normality. All of your normality is being challenged and being told it's wrong. To be normal is to be wrong. To be that is to be accepted. And you know what I say? Go pound sand. I don't have to accept shit. I don't have to do shit. And this old broad is telling you right now, I ain't going to capitulate. You understand? I ain't doing it. I suggest you jump on the bandwagon with me. But listen to what he's saying, because he's right. If anything is too low or something, let me know. I have one side of my earbuds in, so for me, it's louder. So please let me know how everything is going.
These gay men who feel the will of Gorgoroth inside them is like, do it, you know, and go turn these women into the demons they see inside themselves, you know, the demons they see acting on.
This is a lot deeper than I.
Did you hear that? They're turning the women, Ariana Grande, or Brittany Murphy, and many, 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 many others in between, into the monsters that they themselves see themselves. If they see themselves that way, well, some people would say, well, I guess that's just a negative interpretation of yourself. You sure? Because some of those people are not very nice. No matter what preference they have. A lot of them are monsters themselves, despite whatever the preference is. They could be 100% straight and they'd be a fucking monster.
Expected when I texted you to have this conversation.
It's more than you would imagine from a guy wearing this t-shirt.
No, it's not actually. And by the way, can I say one thing that's bothered me for years? When I was a child, there was a lot of creativity coming from gay men in the United States. Like
it's all gone now.
I know.
And it's Dave Rubin is responsible. Not him personally, but I mean, like.
But do you know what I'm talking about? I mean,
of course. And why? Because
a lot of free thinking, and I was related to one of them.
I spent a lot of time in red glasses and look like a librarian for fun. Should I do it? Comment below. Should I get some librarian red glasses? You know, I did that one time. I went to the library. I was really young. I was like, I think I was 17, or I was turning 18, and I popped the lenses out. And I was doing a bunch of auditions and stuff at the time, and I popped the lenses out and I put them on. I was in the library doing stuff, and do you know how many guys hit on me in the library? I was astounded. It's like, shit, these red glasses, do they do something? Is there like some weird kink or fetish I don't know about? Maybe not. I don't know.
My house lived in my house when I was a kid, and gay died of AIDS, you know, and had a lot of problems. But I will say, creative. Free thinking, like truly free thinking. This is more of a doll. It's like the archetype.
This is Burkean.
There are no.
Okay, what kind of school is this? This is, I bring factual stuff and I make commentary, and I'm going to be doing a whole lot of interviews in 2026. I have been waiting to go back to using this beautiful mic after both of my computers have blown up due to power outages after relocating to a different state. I'm from California. And I don't want to be doing a bunch of interviews and looking like an amateur piker without my equipment and without the proper PC to run it. This does not run on a Mac. I'm on an old 2016 Mac right now that's got a puncture wound from falling over onto my soundboard with metal knobs. And it's dying the death as we speak. So that's the kind of school this is. I'm extremely opinionated, and we're going to have fun with it.
More of a dolls in gay world that I'm all like conformists and supporting the man. Like what?
I have life coaches. I have innovative anti-aging doctors, especially one that I work with. I have other doctors who do work with stem cell and PRP, which is short for prolotherapy, which I've done many, many times because I used to be a professional dancer. No, not that kind of a dancer, a professional dancer, as well as some business people, some crypto people. I've got a whole slew of people lined up, but I don't want to bring them on when everything is blurry and the sound is bad, and well, I don't want it to be like that. So that's why I've been stalling.
What?
Well, the only ones these days are ex-gay.
But do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, and it's Burkean. It's because creativity arises out of order. There has to be limits. And if homosexuality is not proscribed as wretched and kept at the fringes where it belongs, creativity dies. And what do you get? Because you don't have those people playing with the limits. You don't have the taboo breakers. You don't have the artists, the creatives living at the limits of society. They're brought instead. And I
think the gay community such as this is
one second. What he's referring to is necessity. Necessity is the mother of all invention, right? When you have too much is open and too much is free, you actually stifle creativity. Okay, you actually do. It's when you have checks and balances, right? Checks and balances. Just like, here's an example: checks and balances. Catholics to the Protestants. I would be considered a dirty Protestant, a heretic. But the Protestants keep the Catholics in check, right? We don't want another Spanish Inquisition. I sure don't. And so the Protestants do that, and then the Catholics keep the Protestants in check as far as, don't get too far out there with your freaking prosperity message. And Milo is actually touching on that, which is the checks and balances within the norms inside of society and within the legal system. When we have those checks and those balances, you actually fuel more creativity than you do when you remove all of the reins off. That's the truth.
One of the least creative, most conformist elements of our society. I never thought I would say that.
They become the enforcers, just like...
They're the enforcers. They're the Praetorian Guard for Apple and Microsoft. Like, what the hell?
Just like the white women of folklore who are responsible for all evil, but they become like turbocharged Karens, and it's the white women who welcome in the white single moms typically, but single moms generally, I think, who bring in drag queen story hours.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate.
Because there's no gay people like banging down the door.
No, that's right.
There's no gay people like, excuse me, can I come read your kids? Do you mind? Can I come read your kids?
Yes, I'm fairly informed.
They're not. But there are demons out there who will come do it if you invite them. Because what do you have to do with demons? Open a portal, open a doorway.
So that's what they
do. These women open the doorway, and in comes
CERN. Like CERN, like that type of portal. Milo, what are we referring to? He's referring both metaphorically, and I'm sure both.
Three little pigs. But the gays now have taken this role. They've taken the mantle over from what we used to. We used to say it, didn't we? We used to say white single moms are the root of all evil, like as kind of half joking, because of all the crazy stuff they support. But now it's homosexuals. I have to be honest with you. There's some responsibility for that.
Tasteful thickness. Milo can't be trusted for any gossip or defamation. We saw his MO when it came to Lauren Southern's exposé. Okay, well, I'm not familiar with what you're referring to. It's the one I've just seen that he's made a bit of a comeback in like the last 2 weeks, and I've been really busy. So let me know where I can go check that out. But I don't have a problem with what he says. Just because you don't like something about somebody doesn't mean everything that they say is a lie. Okay, I'm confirming certain things from being in the industry. Okay, or having a history in the industry, I should say, a fairly long one. And I'm not disagreeing. I'm telling you what he's telling you is the truth. What the attack on women, like everybody thinks all the attack is on straight men. No, honey, it's an attack on both sides, and women have been on the forefront of it. Hence why somehow now we no longer have our privacy in a bathroom right along with our children. Like, come on. Let's work two brain cells together, and make sure that they're both syncing and talking to each other. I don't mean you're stupid or something, but I mean just people's opinions in general. Okay, so I don't want you to think that. Logical, hey there. I'm glad you've shown up again. And P. Fletch also. You seem to be open to discussing any topic. I am open to discussing most topics, not any topic, but most topics. Yes.
It was me 10 years ago, mainstreaming homosexuality into the Republican Party is the great regret of my life. more so
Ooh.
than anything I've done to my own soul, which is a lot. It's the great regret of my life, because it has given rise to horrors I never imagined. I mean, say Lenin said, all revolutionaries come to hate their children. Well, the gay horrors that I've given birth to, Lady Marga, Nick Fuentez, I mean, they keep me up at night.
Nick Fuentez and all the rest of them, the great fascist movements that are happening here on YouTube land. He's referring to as proselytes. Even the Word of God says you turn them into bigger children of hell than they are of themselves. It's called proselytizing. So even though it was indirect and unintentional, we are creating many subversions of ourselves, and we're proselytizing. And we're we're creating these large, I would say, gaps between logical thinking, extremism, and sin.
I mean,
why'd you mention Dave Rubin? What's his role?
Well, because he is at the vanguard, along with another of other gays in public life, of introducing children into the equation. Because it's when you do what I did, which is like, gays just like everyone else, you be a normal gay. I remember, and this is the thing I regret more than anything else in the world. There's a video of Ross Matthews in 2017 on Twitter saying, "So I came home and landscapers have been in. We're getting more citrus. You can never have too much citrus." And people were asking me, "Ross, what do you think about this Milo guy?" And I'm like, Milo.
Haphazard asks, do you have an actual preaching channel? Yes, I do. It's called The Preacher's Kid. I started it 3 weeks ago. My actual introduction to YouTube land, going on 3 years ago, and then going quiet, was actually doing that first. However, The Preacher's Kid, I will link it here in a few minutes into the chat, and then you're all welcome to sub to it. I was going off of Romans 14, and I'm uniting all of the different sect, S-E-C-T, not S-E-X, thank you, the different sect of religion, aka Protestants, Catholics, Orthos, whatever you want to call yourself. God says, you have been received, both of you, right? And you'll see why he says that. And I break it down.
How low can you go? I don't know who this person is, but I read it. And he says, I'm getting letters. This Milo guy, he's resigning from Breitbart or something. And he says, I'm getting letters from people who say, you make it okay that I have a gay son, because if he grows up, he doesn't have to be like Ross Matthews. That's true. And I was like, no, they should be like Ross Matthews. They should be like Ross Matthews. They shouldn't be like Dave Rubin, like you might not even know unless you watched him for a little bit, because this domesticity of homosexuals has killed all the things that were good about gays that made them like tolerable, and instead has given them this grotesque parody, this simulacrum of domesticity, which has of course in their never-ending hunger expanded to include babies. Mm-hmm. And now we have the Buttigieg couple buying black children.
I thought you weren't allowed to buy people. I thought.
Oh no, you can if you're homosexual.
But I thought
it's called adoption or surrogacy or whatever. But you can buy them.
What do you mean? Angelina Jolie been doing forever. Several of them have done it. Charlize Theron did it. There's just to name two right off the bat. It's not just the homosexuals, not the gay sector. We're also looking at the weirdo women who are buying kids from collecting kids like a memento everywhere that they go. It's very freaking weird.
I thought it was called slavery.
In fact, you have to buy them because it's quite expensive.
Some online slave market, or
doesn't cover? No. It's the government. And as you know, but Dave Rubin has like Frankensperm babies. Like he mixed his effluvia with that of his husband. I mean, this is real. This is physical. Gave it a stir and hoped for the best. And like, whichever one we get. Implanted it in some highly paid woman we'll never know the name of, the real mother of those children. He and his catamite are on the internet, with these signs like it's coming with these 2 dates. And I'm like, yeah, your damnation. That's the date you're counting down to. The date you're
How is that
You know, they used to
conservative?
do that in the
because it's family, you see. Because it's
BC, you know that, right? Part of the occult
the sleight of
practice
hand, like
to have
that's
a
going
bunch
on,
of
is you're like, well, gays are just like everybody
mixing
else, so
of
we should
fluids,
behave like
including
everybody
with
else,
an
which means we should have
animal,
kids.
to
And if we
see
can't physically
if they
have
would
kids
get
because our
some
sex is
type
this
of
like demonic,
child
sterile
prejudice.
horror show,
That
then we'll
reminded me of
buy them,
something.
and then we'll
Sorry.
look like we've got it.
Probably information nobody
I
wants
mean,
to know.
that's how bad it is. That's how bad it is.
Well, it's the season to give gifts to those you
Here we
love,
go,
and there's
kids.
no greater gift than
Here
the
is
first
the
gift,
link
the
if
gift
you
of
want
life.
to check out.
With the abortion mafia doubling down, there's never been a more important time to fight back against them
From
and
the
for
1950s,
children,
my grandparents
which is really
raised me. They came from the A.A. Allen Circle. They knew everybody from Shambach and a lot of industry people on top of that. So this is nothing new. Well, thank you, Tucker and Milo, for that interesting observation as far as what is going on in the media and the parts that are being played between men and the women, even though they want to be women or act like women or pretend to be besties with women. Many of them actually have a far more malicious plan. And you know, their daughter, my biological mom, she grew up in the 60s and the 70s, and then, you know, a little bit of the 80s. And she said one time, she's like, you know, the best friend a girl could ever have is a gay guy, because you don't ever have to worry about them going after your men or this and that, and you go shopping with them. And I looked at her, and you know, I mean, I come from theater, honey, you know, and performing arts academies and stuff like that. And I'm like going, your brain is pickled, right? Too many drugs, too much alcohol, too much partying or something, because she's completely removed from reality. Or she's just used to the older traditional gay sect of society, where they were more like the what normal liberals used to be. You know, like if you looked at Fran Lebowitz, I don't even know if she's still alive. She was a comedian and a writer and all kinds of stuff. You know, back then they didn't want to get married. They didn't want kids. They didn't want to be prescribed society's norms. That's why they lived outside of society's norms. I mean, now all of a sudden they want to comply with everything else all of us heterosexuals do. Ask yourself the question, why? Why would they want to? It's boring. You know what I mean? Like they're living these extravagant lifestyles, going and having fun and doing this and that, and now all of a sudden you want to be like everyone else. What's the point? You know? All right, so let's take a look now. Speaking of Nick Fuentez, before we start moving on to the actually, let's just check out. Let's start off with this one, because we already were touching on the Ariana Grande thing. Here we go. She is so creepy, dude.
Grande and Cynthia Erivo situation just got even weirder, and now Cynthia's ex is hinting at some seriously disturbing stuff about Ariana supposedly being scared of Cynthia.
Isn't that weird?
So as you all probably heard by now, Ariana Grande and Cynthia...
That's an industry handler. Right there. So when you're seeing that type of stuff and you're wondering, what the hell's going on? That's a handler, honey. That's what those are. And yes, they're all tied to the occult. Is with all of the myths and the rumors and all that stuff isn't a myth, and it's not a rumor. They're just not going to admit to it to you, but it's right in front of your face. Which, by the way, is part of how the occult will move. They will tell you what they're doing or show you what they're doing, and then if you go along with it, then you are a consenting participant. Okay?
Cynthia Erivo have been trending for all the wrong reasons lately. First, it was their shocking physical transformation, which sparked rumors about food issues and an unhealthy competitive dynamic. And then some fans even speculated that Ariana and Cynthia trauma bonded over something that happened while filming Wicked. Because it's not just their appearance that's causing all this conversation, it's also their strange behavior in recent interviews. And it's gotten to the point where people are starting to come up with all types of conspiracy theories about what's really going on behind the scenes. Every time these two are together, it's like they can't keep their hands off each other, always touching, grabbing.
Security. No, that is not trauma bonding. That is a handler. Haphazard says, and then I'll go up and I'll read the other one. I always thought Ariana was small, but now she's so damn skinny. Yes, the term is called anorexia. Does anybody remember the Carpenters? The Carpenters, the band. Yes, from the late 60s and the 70s. Karen Carpenter, to be exact. She died from being far too anorexic. Brittany Murphy passed away from being too emaciated. And then the cocktail of the drugs mixed with any type of an illness, your body just goes whoosh, the other way. Donezo. Boobs. I mean, hi, Star. Hi. The word is also called boobala. Yes, another title I've walked around with. Tasteful thickness. Please remember to like and subscribe. Any lurkers about, remember to like and subscribe for your host, NovaStar, here at School of Thought. He says Blair White and Milo have both downplayed the sexual abuse of children. You are absolutely correct. But when you're going to be on social media, that's TOS. And they will cut you down for being too blatant about anything. Like, I would love to rip and tear into some things, but I can't do that because of the TOS. There would be no more me platform anywhere because of it, which is, total attack on free speech, right? We're supposed to have free speech in this country. Well, no, we're going the way of Britain. Everything that Britain has instituted 10, 15, sometimes 20 years, well, they push it forward here. It's a little slower to catch on. They've certainly ramped up the race on it, but it's all happened over there first, and you're starting to see the trickle-down effect that it's been having since the 90s over here. So that's what's been going on.
Or fixing each other's clothes when there's nothing to fix.
And this sisterhood, safe to say, best friend for life.
Yeah. Such a creepy ass stuff.
In the second part, there is so much exciting stuff.
For the better. We have for good on our hands.
Yes.
And now that's in we got them on opposite, so when we hold hands, they touch.
And then the over-the-top reactions and bursting into tears at random moments for no reason. It's all just so bizarre to witness.
I'm also going to say something else that'll be completely controversial and possibly unpopular. And I don't give a shit. That's great for me. Artists are far more valuable deceased. Does anybody understand that? Like Tupac, Biggie, Whitney Houston, many others. They're far more valuable gone than they are alive making new material. Did you know that? So if she's suddenly, poof, gone in, I don't know, months, couple of years, well, remember what I said.
Not the time, helicopter.
Crazy. These broads are crazy.
But here's the twist. If you've been watching closely, it's actually Cynthia who's almost always the first one to initiate the physical touch.
Had to learn how to sing coloratura soprano for the first time in my life, so it required a lot of vocal training.
So now the internet is trying to figure out if Ariana is actually into all that touching or if she's just going along with it. Because in some of these clips, Ariana does look a little uncomfortable around Cynthia. And then on top, Ariana Grande and Cynthia.
You got some weirdo grabbing on you and you're trying to do an interview, but she ain't gonna turn it off or turn it away. As you're seeing, she's not doing any of those things. No, she's going. That's part of the handler's job. And if they refuse, well, bad things happen. Do you understand what I said? Bad things can happen when you refuse your handlers or you don't do what you're doing. It's kind of like, how we've been watching these very masculine dudes in the movie industry, right? And somehow they start showing up in, like, you know, wearing women's clothes and acting kind of whatever when they clearly were never acting like that before. That's part of the initiation. That's part of the obedience. If you do not, you are not, and you will also pay for it one way or the other. Okay? I'm going to leave the rest of that alone. Maybe as things progress, I'll touch more into it, but I think for right now, I should stop there. Let's take a little look-see at a little interview between, well, I'm using Benny Johnson's because I couldn't find it quick enough, and then I would have had to edit it. So I'm going to use Benny Johnson's clip. So thank you, Benny, and everybody else. Let's start sharing the screen. And here we go. Ownership, submission, presumed protection. That's what that means. Haphazards. That's what it means. Presumed protection. A handler, you know, anything that looks dangerous or questionable. No, 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 you can't do this. They belong to me. That's the whole point. All right, so we got Piers Morgan, who started off in Britain, by the way, as a massive gossip columnist and paparazzi. Not really the nicest guy, but somehow now he's over here in America, and he got a lot to say.
What's up, guys? Spenny. The United Kingdom has...
Do any of you even know what scene that comes from? If you know what scene it comes from, you got 10 seconds to type it out and put it in the chat. If you know, because if you don't know, I do. And there's actually a song attended to that little scene that they pulled from. Nope, not Home Alone, honey. They've combined stuff, but it's not all from Home Alone. It's actually two things. Nobody else? Nobody else? Mary Poppins. The original Mary Poppins with Julie Andrews. When the old lady's out there feeding the birds and they're singing the song, something tuppence and something else. I can't remember. It's been so long ago.
Has anti-free speech laws. You could go to jail for saying naughty words. And so
Naughty,
we
naughty.
asked Piers Morgan,
You Americans
how the hell are you
ready
gonna
to
stay
go
out of jail?
penalized and
I mean,
fined for
Fuentez
naughty,
on your
naughty?
show,
You can
Piers
talk that
wasn't
way.
Sure.
I'm not.
Did have a live stream.
You almost had it. Yes,
Just
you
ago.
did. You almost did.
We've clipped some of the spicier, very uncensored clips for you. And
I do not personally care for Nick Fuentez. All right. I do not care for this individual very much. But, you know, he does know how to get the shock jock wheel turning, doesn't he?
I think it's fair to say Piers Morgan is absolutely going to jail. He said it's not going to be a hostile ambush, the show,
Yes,
although
sir.
it kind of
Same
was,
here.
actually. All he did was just play the clips of Nick Fuentez on his own show for Nick Fuentez and asked if he agreed with the edgelord commentary inside of those clips. And Nick Fuentez said, yes, I agree. And it was actually really funny.
Good.
This is true.
Isn't that you,
Piers
Shrap?
Morgan did not
Is that a different
censor
handle?
anything that
So-
Nick Fuentez said.
Straight-ish male? Is that what that means, honey? I don't know. Anyways, he says Nick basically embarrassed Piers. Good. Piers embarrasses me often. Toasty says, I definitely say Ariana got Biebered, and I definitely feel sorry for her because she doesn't know any other way to live, so she can't plant her feet like Neil McDonald did. That is kind of true. She's also stolen more than one husband, by the way. You know, Jolie and an Elizabeth Taylor. Now, Elizabeth Taylor was renowned for that, and then Jolie kind of picked up where Elizabeth took off, and then here we have her. And Ariana likes to go for the nerdy, geeky ones for some reason. It's probably because they get so starstruck and awed that she's interested in them, you know. I don't really find Ariana like this overtly beautiful, sexy type of a woman, but at least she's kind of feminine. But I haven't really been watching her lately, so you know. But what I'm looking at here, nothing's too feminine these days.
Nick Fuentez hyped the interview with this photo of Piers Morgan, sort of setting the tone. And the major takeaway, I think, for everyone is that it is one of the funniest shows they've ever seen. It was one of the funniest interviews Nick's ever done. Insane how outclassed Piers is. This is the funniest show I've ever seen.
I'm glad you're back.
Dr. Dre music and glasses at the end. Piers Morgan, when Nick agrees with clips of himself. I didn't plan this far. That really was the majority of the show, frankly, was Nick Fuentez giving his worldview in the form of clips from his show, which have gone viral. Some of them are very, very old. Some of them are recent. And then Piers saying, do you agree with these clips of yourself? And Nick saying, yes, he does. And I can give you a lot of examples of that. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Nick Fuentez reacting to one of his more famous videos.
This is where you talk about Jews, women, and blacks. Let's just take a listen.
Oh, great.
They're always coming up with, no, it's not the Jews. No, it's not women. No, it's not blacks. It's actually really complicated. No, it isn't at all. Jews are running society. Women need to shut the up. Blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part. And we would live in paradise.
All right.
It's that simple.
He's trying to piss everybody off all at once. That's what he's doing.
Would you like to clarify what you meant there?
That's all true. That's 100% true. Everything I said in that clip is true.
Including that blacks need to be...
Haphazard musician is leaving. Why are you leaving, honey? Is it time for dinner? Is that what it is? He says if he's not back when I'm still on, then hope you have a similar night to your looks, aka a sexy one. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I would love to have a sexy night. We'll see how things progress. It's been a bit dry in that department.
Be imprisoned for the most part.
Yeah. Yes.
But all of them?
No, for the most part.
What does the most part mean? What percentage of American blacks would you like to see in prison?
Whatever the percentages of the murderers. I think it's 1 in 20 black men will commit a murder in their lifetime. So maybe let's say that 5%.
Oh, so you're talking about black people who murder people?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But you didn't say that. You just said blacks.
Okay, so people who commit violent crime should go to jail. Okay, that's how it's supposed to be. So if they deserve it, then I guess they deserve it. But I'm not gonna chime in on that one. If you don't want to do the time, baby, don't commit the crime. That's what they used to say.
Need to be imprisoned for the most part. You didn't clarify that you were talking about black murderers.
Right. No, you're right. That's a good addition to that. That's a great point.
You think it's funny? Or?
Why do you gotta play church music?
I think it's totally
true.
Do you think a black American would find it funny? You think
you dirty sinner? What did you do?
For the most part,
blacks are my biggest fans. I get high fives all the time. They say, Nick Fuentez, I love your show. They agree with me. And you want to know why? Here's the difference. Black people are the most victimized by other black people. You think black people want to live in the hood and the ghetto and get shot all the time? That's what happens in the south side of Chicago.
I mean, I don't really know.
Or
what do you think
LA.
you're going to do there? Right? Like, have you ever watched Nick?
But
this is his worldview.
There's a lot of Hispanics there now. So
you think he's going to
not
cry?
too much better.
Like, I mean, you may like it, you may not. But
you know, my old man had the third largest wood and pallet company on the West Coast. Dealt a lot with, like, say, Pepsi Cola and government contracts and all of those things, right? And his main yard before he expanded out into Tracy, and then he was trying to open one in Brazil, believe it or not, because the lumber was cheap over there. Still is kind of cheap over there. And when Watts went up in the first riots in California, his was the only place that survived all over. Ask the question, why did his survive in the midst of all of the Watts riots? Does anybody have a good answer to that? I can tell you why, if your guess is possibly correct, because he was tied into all of the local police departments, the local judicial system, local politicians, and he knew how to give kickbacks to everybody around him, you know, to survive. Yeah, sometimes that's what you got to do. It's an old mob thing, you know. It is what it is.
But I don't understand what you think you're going to get, like some kind of confession from him. Maybe Piers, I mean, as I study this, you know, here's one about Nick Fuentez reacting to Tucker Carlson clip. And maybe Piers sort of bought into the whole Nick Fuentez is a very different person.
I agree with you,
in his interviews in corporate media or big time media podcast interviews versus his show, right, on Rumble.
His palettes were pretty good. He even had insurance if you wanted to pay for it before insurance became a thing in the 60s and the late 50s. Yeah, he sure did.
Maybe that's what it was. But that doesn't seem to be the case here. Here is Nick Fuentez talking about Tucker Carlson.
Let me ask you about Tucker Carlson, because you had a long sit down with Tucker Carlson, in which she was, oddly, I like Tucker, we get on well, I was with him last week in London, but he gave me a harder time than he gives you. And then afterwards, he was more critical. And then you said this about Tucker.
He's a handler. He handles people. That's what he does. He's a f***ing liar and a handler. He goes around telling people, I don't know anything. I don't know. Oh, I know nothing. I don't even have a phone. I am just a clueless tourist. I just travel to all these countries and, you know, I don't trust him. And I don't care, you know, maybe that alienates me from people in the conservative movement. I don't care. I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm not going to be a party to whatever that is, whatever that's.
Well, he is employed by main broadcast channels and networks now, isn't he? Right? There's only so much you can, you know, quote unquote, stand for and those things before you're non persona grata in the industry. It's still industry, whether it's news media, whether it's you're doing a fucking movie, whatever it is, it's still industry and it's still contractual. You still have to behave yourself enough. So it is what it is. So stop being pissy there, Fuentez.
CIA bull it is. I'm not going to be a part of it. So, you know, now that I've heard enough from Tucker and I've heard enough from other people and I've seen enough. This guy's not who he says he is. Not an ally. Stay the away from me. You're weird.
I don't know.
See, what would have been great is if you said that to him when you were sitting opposite him.
They are streaming video games or something.
When I was sitting opposite him at the dinner and in the interview, he was nothing but nice. He was very nice to me and very cordial, and he didn't call me an anti-Semite, and he didn't even press me on it at all. And I thought he would, and I almost wanted him to. He was nothing but nice, and we had a great time. We had a really great dinner, really great interview, and I felt really good about it. And the next week on my show, I said, he really surprised me. He's great. And then every interview he's done since, all he does is call me an anti-Semite. He goes, well, I hate his anti-Semitism. And, you know, I wonder why people like him. And so I just think that's two-faced. So after that experience, it kind of turned me off. I didn't like that, but he's going to do what he's going to do. He's still.
Oh, what's the matter, honey? Did you just get the whole let's do lunch and got schooled by somebody who's actually in the industry, who isn't just on YouTube land, getting on interviews with people? You know, you have to have management in order to get on Piers Morgan, right? So in order for Nick Fuentez to even be there, he has to have management, okay? So any influencer that you see coming up, doing interviews, whether it's Piers Morgan or anybody else, which that's how they're going now, There's some stuff I could talk about on YouTube. We'll save that for another time. But they all have management. Otherwise, they can't get representation. You know why? Because there's too much litigation behind it. You can't just pull somebody off the street and, you know, they'll turn around and they'll sue. So you have to have management in order to get there. So let's just dispel that myth.
Well, a nice guy, but I think he's two-faced.
So there's a lot of that back and forth. Here's a clip of you. What do you think? Here's a clip of you. What do you think? From in a big range of topics. Ultimately, Nick Fuentez distilling his views on mass migration and the Great Replacement theory to Piers Morgan. I don't know how you argue with this, man. Here we go.
Right now, and you can laugh at this, you can scoff at this, our people are being genocided in our country. 50% of the live births in the United Kingdom and in the United States are non-white. In 100 years, my ancestors, your kids who are so empathetic and compassionate, they're going to be a minority. They're going to be a minority in maybe a Muslim country, an Indian country, an Hispanic country, and these Jewish people that are 100 years old talking about.
He's not incorrect there. However, his last name is Fuentez. He's not really Caucasian by definition. He's Hispanic by definition. If he has enough ties into Spain, then that is true Hispanic. We're not talking about Latinos. We're not talking about any of that other stuff. We're talking about true Hispanics come out of Spain. Half of my family comes out of Spain, Valencia, Spain. I'm actually traced back to Isabel and Ferdinand. That's where, and not including that side of the family. The other side of the family is all of the Adams, Roosevelt, and all those assholes for presidents. So I come by my diligence and my opinions. Well, that fruit didn't fall far off the tree.
About my grandparents and the Holocaust, they don't care about that. Actually, they like to see it. At the SPLC, they're literally counting down the days until whites are a minority in America. So forgive me if I don't believe them when they talk about compassion. There's a genocide going on right now. It's not against the Jews.
How many Christians are there?
In Gaza, it's against
How many
whites.
Christians are there in the world? Like me,
1 point some billion,
yeah,
2 billion.
How many Jews are there?
15 million.
Okay. So with a straight face, you're going to tell me the world is being overrun by the Jewry, by 15 million people, when there are over 1 billion Christians. There is a...
Yeah, he's got him there on that one. If he's referring to the Rothschilds and all the rest of that, the Rothschilds, we'll look into this together one day. But let's just say there's some dots connecting that they aren't actually of what I would say full-on Jewish descent. You're actually looking at some of them as from a Palestinian background, okay? And then a lot of them front as our Hebrew brethren.
A genocide of Christians like poor old Nick Fuentez going on at the hands of these 15 million Jews. Really?
See, this attitude is why you're losing. When you say
who
poor
am I losing
white
to?
people,
Who
these
am I
poor
losing
old
to?
white-
Okay, Shrap. Can you email me or Discord me or something so we can talk about this little interesting tidbit of informatione? Like, no, he says, my ancestors are one of the 14 that started Albuquerque, New Mexico. I want to know more, because if this is interesting the way I think it might be, I might want to talk to you in a little interview segment. Contact me, sir, on Discord. Through the mutual server, I am there.
White people.
Who am I losing to?
You're seeing it. Mass migration. Oh, you're losing to me. We are losing as a civilization of mass migration. And here's the difference. In Israel, they have my politics. In Israel, they want to maintain a Jewish majority. If they had it their way, it would only be Jewish people.
A lot of Israel is ran by the Palestinians. Does anybody know this? Does anybody understand how much of Israel is actually ran by Palestine? Palestinian state, when I say that. You don't believe me? Go listen to Roseanne Barr when she went there, because she's a full-blooded Jew.
They're fighting like hell.
I believe she's a Russian Jew, If my memory serves, I could be a little off. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure she is a Russian Jew, and they escaped during some of that stuff that was going on over there.
So the Jewish people can have as much territory, a Jewish state, they can be proudly Jewish in their own land, whereas in America being besieged by 10 million illegal immigrants in 4 years, and then whites and Christians are going to be the minority. And that's true in Canada, Australia, all the countries in Europe. So you could say there's 2 billion people, but what's the proportionality? What is the percentage of people being born that are white? Where's the arrow pointing? Where are we going to be in 50 years? In 50 years, there might be an Israel. In 50 years, there isn't going to be a white Christendom.
You don't believe people should get married, right?
I think people should get married. I'm a Christian.
But you're basically anti-marriage, really. You've talked about this. You've talked about.
Are we done talking about white genocide?
Well, no, I'm coming to the same part, because
some of the other spicier interactions, and again, the full 2-hour video is available on Piers's channel. That scoundrel, he made the chat only for subscriber members of the channel. You can see what. So Piers was raking it in here.
Come on, you got to give the members something that they want to pay for. You can't blame them on that. You know, as much as I might have disdain for certain types of people and their personalities, it doesn't mean that I don't understand business. I've had a business, a worldwide business, mind you, for well over 10 years. So I understand that. It's business, baby. Got to make money, right? You got a whole crew of people you got to pay for, and their 401ks and their medical bills and the SAG, and because this is all attached to SAG and the other one, AFTA, or whatever the abbreviation is for it. It's not all free.
Piers Morgan getting cooked on crime in this exchange.
Here's the difference. Black people are the most victimized by other black people. You think black people want to live in the hood and the ghetto and get shot all the time? That's what happens in the south side of Chicago. You should come here. I'll take you there. We could go to Garfield Park.
My son went to Chicago University for a year, actually, several years ago.
Yeah, that's a bubble. That's a bubble. You think you're in Chicago in Hyde Park? You don't know Chicago. Go a little bit west. See what it's like over there. And I'll tell you, black people agree with me because they're tired of it too. And maybe not most of them, but a lot of them agree with what I say about that because they know how it is. That's why the first thing they do when they make a little bit of money is they go and leave to another neighborhood.
Okay, so what?
They straight up, they sure do. How many rappers went back and cleaned up their neighborhoods? How many? I'm waiting. Not many, right? Not very many at all. How many of the athletes have done it? And was it done because they want to do it and it's a moral thing to do, or was it because it's a tax write-off? Because anytime you do any of that stuff, it's all tax write-off. In the music industry, when they're signing up artists, I'll tell you how it works. When they sign up artists, there's no guarantee that they are going to release your album or your single or anything else. And they take on new artists and then they write them off as a loss, as a tax deduction. Okay?
Well, just remind me again, the percentage of black men who commit murder in America. What was the percentage you gave me?
It's 1 in 20. 1 in 20.
It's 1 in 100.
No,
Jeff,
it's 1 in 20.
No. Less than 1 in 100 black US men commit murder. That's the most up-to-date crime statistics in America.
That's not true. I've seen other statistics. They say 1 in 20 will eventually commit a murder.
So your rate means that you're saying that 5 times as many black men commit murder as the official crime statistics say.
Yeah, there's a report, I believe, on X by Data Hazard. I'll have to go and double check that for you. But yes, there's some pretty shocking evidence that says that it's far more alarming than you would think.
Okay, but you would accept that the official crime statistics are 1 in 100, or you wouldn't accept that statistic?
I don't know. I don't have it.
Piers is also one of those individuals in Britain where they have lots of different types of people committing certain types of crimes that they don't ever report over there because of the propaganda and the censorship laws, right? So he's using some of those tactics over here. Like, there's a few things that I might agree with some of these influencers. But if you knew everything about their personal lives, who they associate with, you'd be looking a little like, this person's a little suspect. Okay, you know, And Nick Fuentez, bless his fascist heart. I mean, all of that works well and great for a guy who's a homosexual. I mean, seriously, like, you know, sure, no problem. You know, let's go be in the brigade where there's no women and there's no, you know, nothing's around, because like it's all dudes, you know. And the Nazi party had a whole lot of that going on. So, you know, for him, it would work out it works out well and dandy. But for the rest of us, no, it doesn't. You know, it looks great on paper, not in reality.
It in front of me, but I've seen other evidence. Like I said, Data Hazard on X, I believe, produced a report about a year ago. It said 1 in 20. But I mean, whether it's 1 in 20 or 1, that's a lot of people.
And the ever tighter restrictions in civilian arms in the UK. Yes, which is why the civilians are having a hell of a time trying to protect their children, trying to protect their women from the inflood of people who have no business being there. And now we are replicating all of Cologne, Germany, and everything else that started in 2016. It's now trickling over to here, to a city in a neighborhood near you. Are you ready? Are you going to protect your women and your children? Or are you gonna side with the red pill manosphere bullshit that tells you shouldn't protect any women or children that don't belong to you? Yeah, I got a real bitching complaint about that stuff.
Years. I mean,
sure,
this is
a lot of white
problem.
people commit murder too.
Yes, Nicole, I know that.
Proportionality.
I need content, honey.
65%
so
of the
we're watching the
population, blacks are
weirdo,
13%.
okay?
And I think anybody would tell you that
how do
more
you like
black
my
people
makeup?
proportionally
Does it look pretty good? Not
commit
too
violent
shabby?
crime than white people, and people vote with their feet. People would rather pay a much higher property tax.
Most mass
what's with the
shootings-
interruptions?
I'm sorry.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, you look at in Chicago, in New York, these
Said
neighborhoods
what
are
I
so
did
stratified.
was
People would rather pay a high tax rate.
I am trying not to break TOS on YouTube, kids. That's what the teacher's doing right now, okay? Jeff is eating dinner and watching. I love you, Jeff. Thank you that I'm entertaining you enough that you're going to eat your dinner. I hope it wasn't something frozen and that you actually got something that was home cooked and good for you, honey.
They'd rather pay a much higher property value to live in a less diverse, less black neighborhood because they don't want to live around the violence. And I think that when you look at even on the public transit, the subway, the blue line, you know, people don't want to go there because they know who occupies and menaces the public transit. It is these people like Daniel Penny had to deal with. It's people like Irina Zarutska had to deal with. And that's just the uncomfortable reality.
And then Nick Fuentez is asked if he's a Fed. This is something that is often thrown around, including by Elon Musk this last week. Like, Nick Fuentez, are you a Fed? Elon Musk said, yes, he is definitely a Fed because he wasn't prosecuted for January 6th. Here's the reaction.
Elon Musk said on his X platform that you're a Fed. You're a paid up hire of the government. Is that true?
No.
100. You've never worked for the government in any capacity.
I've never talked to federal law enforcement. And actually, I've testified to that fact under oath when I was subpoenaed by the Congress. People leave that part out, but I got subpoenaed, I think, in January 2022, I think it was.
Now, you can work with the feds as an informant, okay, without having to be a Fed. So, nor would he ever admit to that if that was the case. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with manosphere, red pill, or any of that type of stuff, or me for that matter, a year ago on Homeland Security reports, most of the content creators, I'm not going to name all of the names, but at least one big name most people would recognize, Tate, right? They were all listed on Homeland Security. They're all being watched. If one of those guys came in and said, we're hearing such and such and such and such, you better fucking tell us or we're going to pinch you for, you know, tax evasion or whatever the hell else it might be. They're gonna sing like a canary, trust me. So just because he's not a Fed does not mean, quote unquote, he's not an informant, right? No. Is he P. Diddy, which we will be showing after this? No, he's not. That guy got a sweet ass deal. Like, How could you ever say it wasn't? Bye, P. Fletch.
It was posed by the subcommittee, the
Shane.
House Select Subcommittee on January 6th, and
My
they asked
buddy.
me, did you speak with any
Ireland. We love you, Shane. He says, but he would be open to perjury charges if he lied under oath. Correct.
federal law enforcement? And under oath, I said, no, I've never had contact with them. I've never turned over devices. So no, absolutely not.
There's been footage that's come out again this week. This is you at the January the 6th riots. Let's take a look.
Okay, hold on. I have to like word this differently, but he goes, Nick thinks dating women is gay, but he thinks rear end doing stuff, a dude is natural. I don't know if you came in right before I mentioned that the only reason he's interested and being a fascist works is because of what is attended to it, and it's all men and it's all, you know, I'm sorry, this way. You know what I mean? So it works out great for him, but for all the rest of us, it's a shit show. So yes.
We are taking the Capitol back! Keep marching and don't relent, never relent. Break down the barriers and disregard the police. This Capitol belongs to us.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jeff. That was unexpected. About the rear end action. Sorry about that. Okay.
So you're heard there shouting down
Look at
your
him. Look how
loud
proud
hailer,
he
break
is.
down the barriers and disregard the
Look at that
police. The Capitol belongs to
smirk.
us now. What did you mean by that?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. The Capitol belongs to the people.
Disregard the police. So you don't support law and order.
No, I support law and order, but on that day,
Okay, Morgan. Most of us who have half of a brain know that more than half of that so-called law enforcement was egging patrons on to enter the building. Okay, so let's not go there.
the police were brutal. The police killed somebody, Ashley Babbitt.
Thank you, Shane.
And, they were throwing people off of the rafters. They killed multiple people. So
when disregarding the police is the first step to anarchy, isn't it?
Well, I think the first step to anarchy is when the government rigs the election, which is what happened. That is when the government loses its legitimacy, and its enforcers, consequently, do also.
Black
think
tank
compliments
top
to
and a
both-
cardigan over it. And I'm wearing yoga pants, gray yoga pants, if you really want to know, because you can't see me from the waist down. So, I'm sitting here comfortable, all right? Because sitting here with both of my legs crossed, you can't see, but my legs are crossed. I'm not overly tall. So big things come in small packages, explosive ones like me. Sometimes, yes. Shane sent me Breaking Piers Morgan. Okay, we'll finish this one, and if it's not too long, I'll go into that one. I'm supposed to help somebody else with another stream after this, and then I will be more than likely streaming again tomorrow.
Sides in that interview. It was absolutely uncensored. That was what was promised. It wasn't exactly a non-ambush interview, but Piers Morgan let the guy speak. And
all right, you're asking me to stand up.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Clip
No,
machine.
I am not overly fat.
And if you check your timeline, I'm sure that's all you will see for the next couple of days. And so,
and I sit in
as
this
we
chair,
often said,
and I got a big ass.
more
to match my
conversations,
front. So
more commentary, more people talking to each other, more people living out the values of free speech, and more people letting the best ideas win. More debate.
PG-13,
That's how you fix
Spicoli.
things and lower the
PG-13. I
Not
gotta be careful
silencing,
what's going on.
Deplatforming, and
All right, Benny, you got it going. Okay, I had a whole other clip. Where did it go? 1 second. I'm trying to find it. Give me a moment. I think this one has JD. This one's got JD on it. So here we go. We'll do the intro with this one. Share the screen. Okay, now, before he talks about this, when I started off doing coverage on Diddy, I said then, this guy's going to have a grand old time in prison. You think this is, the only thing that he's going to hate is the sobriety, which he will never be sober in jail. He can get whatever he wants, you know, and then like, you know, probably not just leaving when they want to, and maybe the food every once in a while, but let's be realistic. He's not suffering in jail. He's definitely allotted favoritism and special whatever you want to call it. So he's having a good time.
Everything that I expected Diddy, the baby oil booty bandit, to get in trouble for when he was put into a prison full of men's, this was not what I was thinking. Diddy just got in trouble at Fort Dix for drinking. And if I remember during Diddy's trial, he made some huge deal about his new sobriety journey. Well, that only lasted until he had the availability to get something to put into his system to get faded. What he ended up getting caught with was some old prison toilet hooch made out of Fanta and apples and sugar that they let ferment for like 2 weeks. Right now, Diddy is at a kindergarten-ass camp, bro. It's basically prison-y land, and we all know how he got his ass there. He paid to get there. But if he keeps messing up like this and getting in trouble, they're 100% going to move him to a place where he's not going to have as easy of a run. In fact, prison officials have even said that he's on thin ice right now. They were going to move him to another unit, and then they decided not to do that for some reason. Yeah, you already know what that reason was. But they can only put up with so much until they have to make some example out of him and do what they would do with any normal inmate. How long do y'all think that Diddy's going to make it at Fort Dix? Let me know down in the comments.
He's fine.
Out of every...
He's having a good old time over there. Let's take a look at what Valuetainment is talking about here too, just for fun, because we all know Diddy's a dirtbag. Okay, we all know it. We all know he's fashioned himself to be the industry version of the Epstein. Can I say Epstein and not get canceled right now? You know, I've actually known people who've had streams taken down for talking about Epstein, so I'm trying to be very cautious. But truth be known, I really love to just really rip into people on this crap, honestly. All right.
Been working on this documentary for almost 2 years. The footage he has is insane. The people he got speaking about Diddy is ridiculous. And on top of that, the only place he agrees to do the interview, Rob, if you can show this, he goes and interviews with ABC, and there's an Instagram post he put up, Rob. I don't know if you have that or not. If you go on his Instagram account, he goes and does the interview about Diddy's documentary on ABC, and they say the reason why he did it on ABC, it's that one right there, Rob, the one you had it on, is because ABC news station is one of only few stations they're allowed to watch in prison.
That's hilarious.
So he wants Diddy to know the world is watching you and what you did. So in a documentary,
Spicoli, this is how I dress. This is part of my normal attire, sir. And I'm doing my own show thing here on YouTube land. So I have to be at least remotely attractive, right? Hence me putting a little bit of effort into my makeup, right? And Jeff, I hope you have a wonderful evening, and don't forget me, okay? I won't forget you, okay? And anyone who is hanging and lurking about, if you would like to give, and it will all go towards the system and the repairs for the system, you can A, either click the Nightbot with the link in the chat, or B, you can use your phone and use that QR code, and it will take you to all my options, which is one of those is that. And unlike some people on YouTube land, everything that you give me will go to exactly what it is I say it's going to be going to, okay? I appreciate the help. I'm trying to get this thing going so it will start to pay for itself. StreamYard, uber expensive. It's like 40 something, like 50 bucks a month almost now. And I've got to really start cutting back on some of those costs. So also within the coming weeks, I will be looking at a different streaming software which, God, I hope I can navigate it fairly quickly, because my tolerance level for as long as it might take me to figure all of this out by myself is very small. Very small. I don't have patience for myself like that.
There's a couple things I'll share with you guys on what I took away from it. But Rob, maybe share the clip on how he got access to some of the footage of the documentary. Is this the one, Rob?
Yep.
Go for it.
How did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figure most journalists would not disclose their sources.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day.
Perhaps.
Spicoli.
Team firing back in a statement to NBC News saying the net shameful hit piece and that they relied on stolen footage that was never authorized for release. His team sending a cease and desist to
right now, sir.
Yeah, so that doesn't mean it's not true.
Of course.
But they relied on stolen footage.
What the hell happened?
Is what they relied on. And then they ask about the history of 50 and him, issue that they've had. What's the one you just pulled up, Rob? What's
this is where they talk
Gosh,
about the
damn
feud,
it.
and then I also have 50 Cent talking about Diddy's reaction
go.
to the documentary.
Yeah, that's so funny. That is so funny. But watch this one here. Go ahead, Rob.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
What they consider a pre-existing beef, right? For 20 years.
How do I fix
It's
this?
me being uncomfortable with him suggesting that he takes me shopping, or I looked at it like it was like a tester, like maybe you'll come play with me, type of thing, right? And it's not personal.
I can't tell
I think
if
it's important to also let people know that the show is not.
I did not mean to ban you. The thing moved as I was right-clicking, and the thing just did that. I think I have to go into YouTube to undo that. I can't tell if it's a StreamYard feature or if it's YouTube.
Completely the perspectives of people that
right
did
now.
not like Sean. We weren't trying to just get the highlights, the salacious details, that the real goal was to storytell. And not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part of this project.
Yeah, I mean, so that's that part, right? The fact that the feud with the two of them, hey, let me take you shopping. Like, you say that to a girl, 50 is like, what are you talking about? Take me shopping. How do you ever flip a mind? You want to take me shopping? And then last but not least, Rob, the other clip you have of 50 is talking about how he thinks Diddy's going to like this documentary. Go ahead, Rob.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've
Look at
seen
the
in a
goose.
long
You can't even
time.
hold it.
Because you'll see people saying that. I mean, he may feel a different way about pieces and bits of it, but he knows the truth. I think he'll see the truth in it.
Okay, have you seen it?
I saw the first 10 minutes and I'm like, first of all, I swear to you, I had no idea it was 50s because the footage is very personal in the beginning where he's talking to his lawyer in a hotel room live. The person's recording it, and then across from him in the building, there's cops looking at the hotel room because I guess there was a warrant. Yeah, this is basically like that scene. But let me ask you a question, Pat. I don't want you to have to give it away for people that haven't seen it. What was one of the things that stuck out to you where you were like, oh my
Well, I mean, listen,
God.
I'm going to say what I took away. You can go do whatever you want to do, and you still want to
Go see
watch
it.
it. So,
Okay.
Rob, can you
All
pull
right.
up the
I
characters
have
that
to
were
wait
in
till
it? One of the
actors
guys
figure it out.
was
Sorry.
a guy that owned
Really,
25% of Bad
chillax.
Boy. Okay, he owned 25% of Bad Boy. When he started Bad Boy, it was between two guys. Okay, I think the guy's name is Kirk Burroughs, if I'm not mistaken. Can you type in Kirk Burroughs to see the face?
Glasses and the dreads?
Let me see if this is the one. Kirk Burroughs. Yeah, can you go to images to see if that's him?
Yeah,
Kirk
that's
Burroughs.
him.
Okay, so that's him.
Yeah.
He owned 25% of Bad Boy. When they started Bad Boy, he puts 25 under his name, 75 under his mother's name. Diddy does. So 75% of the company's under his mother's name, 25% is under his name. One day he comes up to him, fully ready to take the sky out, says, you have to sign off the 25% to me. He says, I'm not going to do it. He says, you have to do it. He forces him to sign up and gives away the 25% over to Diddy. Okay? Gives away the 25% to Diddy. That's his.
Threatening his life?
He threatens his life, allegedly, to give up the 25%, which he ends up giving up to Diddy. And he says, I'm going to give it back to you. Never gives it back to him. And then later on, when he takes him to court to say, this is my 25%, The court says, no, you have mental issues. You're having challenges here. This is out of control. Boom. Diddy ends up keeping the 25%. Nothing ever happens. He never gets the 25% back. This is the guy that was doing all the deals, okay? But as you go through the story with him and the stories of the girls and what happened and how he became super famous was that basketball game in New York that he set up, that 9 people died, and he had to go in front of TV and explain the fact that I was trying to put together the greatest basketball game ever. It's called the City College Stampede. 9 kids died. Have you heard about this story?
No. I have never heard about this story. About this story about him? Wow. This guy's always around when shit's happening, huh? Now you got to remember Bad Boy Records, Death Row Records, all of that stuff. All of that stuff was founded by criminals, okay? And like all criminal syndicates, rings and whatnot, at some point, eventually they always go corporate. That's why the mob went all corporate. It's the same thing, same everything. And you know, we've got kids and everybody else is listening to guys who running drugs and arms and peddling ass, you know, and some of it might not be of legal tender peddling of ass. And we're walking around like this is all, you know, totally fucking normal, you know. No morals whatsoever about what we're doing. It really is very bothersome that kids today and people even a little bit behind them, they have no clue where any of this stuff comes from. And yet we put them on pedestals and they're fucking criminals. Like, what's wrong with us?
You've never heard about the story? Rob, can you just go online and type in this? This is how Diddy became famous.
What year was this?
This is Diddy's 90 years old. If you just type in
John, I'm glad that you are here. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for joining us. Remember, anybody who's lurking about to like and to subscribe. Liking the video helps me out. And
the City
Thank you so much.
College. Yeah, this is 34 years ago, guys. Wow. Exactly 34 years ago. Go to a clip of it, Rob, if you can. Just to show, go to the cover of that page.
Yes, you're
go to the cover of that. Look at that.
Oh my God.
8 crushed to death.
Do that with money, to launder money. But it was also a way for them to get into a new arena with the industry. Many people speculate, and I don't think it's much of a speculation anymore. My conspiracy theorist steps forward and goes, this sounds kind of legit. I've been saying for a long time that the rap movement, as big as it started to get, was basically a CIA movement. Because look at what all the damage it's done to the kids coming up. My own cousin, blue eyes, very fair, light-colored hair, did not come from the wrong side of the train tracks. Oh, no, he sought it out, okay, and decided that's the life he wanted to get into, all because of what? Because of what? The portrayal of the glorification of criminal rings in the media during that time frame? Yeah.
And ends up becoming 9, by the way. Yeah, true story. But if you go and see if you can find a video, Rob, of what it looked like. If you type if you type in video, so everybody's coming to this game, you know, all the major NBA, you know, all the major rappers, everybody's, oh my God, it's going to be great. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. And in that image right there, go to that image right there with Diddy, no, the middle one. That's him doing the press conference. He does the press conference on that day at 19-ish years old. Boom, he becomes famous. Wow. And he creates that rumor reputation of, he can put the biggest parties in the world and people show up, the biggest promoter. So that became a way where his image got bigger and bigger and bigger with this. And then when you continue, there's a part with what he didn't like is that Tupac and Biggie started getting very close because Tupac would allow Biggie to open for him. So you guys have to realize, I had Greg Kading on the show 10 years ago. Greg Kading is the guy that was the lead investigator of Tupac. He was in the documentary as well. He was investigating what happened to
Una is absolutely correct. They did support that for a while.
Yeah, he was investigating what happened to, and Rob, if you can pull up the podcast with he and I, and the way I did it on the board, and I put all the suspects of who it could have been, and then he gets the recording and shows with Keefe D. Keefe D is the guy that was the boss who Diddy allegedly offered $1 million. They said he'll take $1 million to take both of them out. So, and he's saying the recording. He's saying it to the feds. So right here, if you zoom in on this list, Rob.
Well, there we
can you
go.
zoom in on the list. Okay.
There we go. Some of the confirmation of who's actually working for the feds. I mean, he got the biggest sweetheart fucking deal ever. He didn't get prosecuted really for anything. I mean, other than what was it? Under quote unquote underage girls or whatever, right? Over state lines. All of this crap, and that's the only thing he gets charged for. You can't tell me that they don't have ties into the judicial system. You can't tell me that mother justice who's blinded, holding scales on one side of each arm, is fair and blind. No, she's easily bought. It's for the haves versus the have-nots.
Okay, so if you zoom in, you see the bottom three names. You see the bottom three names right there
on the right
by his right hand.
Tupac,
right there. Yeah, that's Keefe D is right in the middle.
Okay.
The one to the left is the guy that stole one of the Death Row Records chains.
Oh.
Zoom in a little bit. Zoom in a little bit. You can't do it. Okay, it's all good. No worries. So the guy in the middle is the guy that's having a conversation who says, "Yeah, he offered us $1 million to take him out." Keefe D, and so.
Eunice says, you would be surprised at a lot of gangs and mobs that supported record labels. I am not surprised at all because I know better than average people how mobs work. So maybe we should go down that little rabbit trail one day. That would be some fun stuff, right? Yeah, yeah. And hold on, Spicoli, if you're still looking. As soon as I get done with the stream, I'll figure out what happened because it was through StreamYard, so I don't know.
They try to get the money. They're not able to kill both because he wanted them to kill both Suge and Pac.
In the car?
They only kill Pac, and they don't kill Suge. So allegedly, they got paid $500,000. The $500,000.
Okay, haphazard. I hope. He says he's back and probably going to listen and attempt to exercise. Okay, you. Make sure you stretch properly before you do this. We don't want you pulling a muscle or damaging any joints. So make sure you warm up properly and don't do too much cardio. Cardio is like, okay, if you're a service guy or whatever, but more weights better because weights is also cardio, believe it or not. So
$1,000 was paid to the guy on the right, all the way to the right. You see the guy on the right?
Corey.
He's the one allegedly that got the $500,000. And that money never went to Keefe D or anybody else. The guy on the left is the one that stole the chain, the chain, which was a Death Row Records chain. That's a way of saying I got your rapper's chain. Because if you were one of the guys, Death Row. So long story short, this whole thing isn't recording that he said this. So what does Diddy do? Rob, can you pull up this song? It's a song called Black Rob, featuring Mark Curry and Mario.
Don't play it.
Women.
I'll get a strike.
If you can just type in lyrics, okay? So he gets $1 million. Can you go to the lyrics? And Diddy's in the lyrics when he gets started. Go a little bit lower. Boom. Muscle.
See it in this game.
Can you type in the word in there, Rob? Nice guy. Type Control F, nice guy. Okay, right there. Look at it. It's 1999. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Been nice too long. I'm just going to start making y'all disappear. Man, first I'm going to take your records off the radio.
Okay.
Then I'm going to erase your social security number. Take your birth certificate out flies. I'm going to do your whole effing family. Ain't nothing but mercy. And then, by the way, in the lyrics, he says, I'll drop $1 million on your head to erase you. Can you type in, I'll drop $1 million? Just put Control F. Just go to Google and type this out. I'll drop $1 million on your head. I'll drop $1 million on your head.
Okay. Haphazard says, never stretch before exercise. Too easy to get injured, in my opinion, but stretching afterwards, maybe. Well, the difference between you and I, honey, is I had to do a lot of stretching first because of all the overextended joint movements, right? Between ballet and jazz and everything else, right? So we have to do that as part of the warm-up. But I would still recommend that you still warm up before you do that. Just don't do anything, extreme like I had to do. Like the splits with your legs getting pulled back even further. All right, even though you're already out, they want to pull it backwards, or push this part up to your head as close as it possibly can. Can't do it anymore after injuries, a car wreck and stuff like that. But I'm still more flexible than most.
Head and just put Diddy next to it, right there. See, it says Black Rob. What song came up? I'll drop $1 million on your head, erase you and your whole family, biatch.
Wow.
He's saying it in the song on what he did to get rid of Tupac.
What an idiot.
He's saying this like that is the level of criminality to say, I'm going to get away with it, right? One day I'm at an NBA game. This was 2 years ago, right before he got arrested. I had done like 3 videos on Diddy. He's at a game with one of his girls. He sees me, I see him. Listen, if there's a guy in the hip hop world I cannot stand, is this guy. I'm looking at him, he's looking at me. And then we're locked in. Vinny, when I tell you we're locked in eye to eye, 2 minutes.
And you're not breaking.
Neither one of us are breaking.
And
okay.
Valuetainment. Patrick Bet David, are you putting on weight, sir? Are you comfortable and happy because you're putting on some weight there, honey? All that money. It's time to get on some extra tests and have somebody show up and prepare your meals and get your ass moving around. God knows I would do it if I had the extra bread. Hell yes, I would. Okay, I said let's continue.
Look, you don't understand. To me, Tupac was as a young kid coming up, he played a very big role as a he's
the most influential people in your life.
To me, that guy was so to me, you took this guy out. I investigated a lot of people based on the reports and things that we talked to a lot of different people. It always comes back to Diddy. And the more and more you put the stuff together, there's another story about what happened with Biggie. So same partner, that guy that's the 25% owner.
There we go.
So they said, okay, let's go to LA and let's do this tour in LA. Biggie's like, there's videos of Biggie saying, man, I feel like something's about to happen. I feel like someone's going to take me out. He's supposed to go to LA. And then right after LA, he's supposed to go to UK for a tour. He's already got flight and everything booked. Diddy calls, what's the guy's name?
Edwards on the right? All the way on the right? Corey Edwards?
Corey Edwards. He calls him and he says, cancel his flight. So what do you mean cancel his flight? Cancel his flight. I'm not canceling his flight. He's going to New York. He's going to UK. Cancel his flight. So they cancel his flight. Biggie stays, and then he gets killed. And the rest is history. And by the way, he uses that to come out and creates that song, Every Breath I... And Sting performs it, and he dances,
of course,
celebrating the death, and he's praying to Biggie, and he puts the biggest funeral together. And guess who pays for the funeral? He uses all the money from Biggie to pay for Biggie's funeral. Jeez. This guy's the biggest dirtbag out there in this space. Biggest dirtbag. And I'm so glad that, what's his name, did this, 50 Cent did this. And by the way, if you're thinking that he's going to take shots at Bieber.
That's a sociopath for you. That's a narcissistic, malignant sociopath. That used to be the technical, clinical listing for that type of a person.
And J-Lo and any of that, or Leonardo, nothing like.
J-Lo is no damn better. Don't ever think she was any better than that guy.
That happens in this documentary. It's not that documentary. I think those guys were probably protected to not show what the Bieber thing is and what the other stuff is. But you really learn about this guy's character and the ties with the mom and who the mom was and beating him up, and the dad being a former mobster. And they used to say is that dad was a former FBI informant working with Frank Lucas. You know Frank Lucas from American Gangster? Apparently Diddy's dad has ties to Frank Lucas. If you type in Diddy's dad, Frank Lucas, zoom in a little bit, Rob.
Yeah, he sure was, Shane. He was at all of the
was an associate right there. Diddy's father, Melvin Earl Combs. Melvin was an associate of drug lord Frank Lucas. You know Frank Lucas is $275 million.
He was doing heroin and flying everything back and forth to Vienna.
But allegedly, Diddy's dad was an FBI informant. is who he was. Wow. Okay, allegedly, Diddy's dad was an FBI informant. Some people are saying maybe Diddy was protected all this time because maybe he was also an FBI informant. The guy said, every room you went into, he recorded everything.
Well, I'm getting
every room you went into, recorded everything. So listen, all in all, it's a great documentary to watch. If you're following, the only reason I followed the story is because I only one reason I watch a documentary is because I wanted to see what the ties were with Tupac. And there's a whole section that has to do with Tupac. A whole section tied to Tupac. Anyways,
no,
you were in
Miami.
Miami.
Go for me because 50 had this footage. Somehow we got this footage.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this yet. I don't have Netflix anymore because all they do is push pedo crap and inappropriate sexual crap to little kids, and I'm not going to support that straight up. I'll tell you that right now. But I wonder if any of that they covered that basically that Tupac was hired for I just call him a hired gun, but I don't mean like he's going to go pew pew somebody or something. More like he was a ballet dancer, okay, and he was Mr. Fruity Pebbles, all right. But what do? We hardcore sell him as some hardcore gangster when it takes money and resources to be in ballet like that. Okay. And we don't ever talk about his gay sex life back then either, do we? No. So yeah, I'm kind of wondering if they covered any of that type of stuff, because I would venture that he was probably, now this goes into record label execs now having inappropriate relationships with their artists. Am I kind of giving you a little bit of a clue? I'm giving you clues. I'm hinting at something here. Kids, boys and girls, I'm hinting record label execs having inappropriate relationships with even Tupac, okay?
What was Diddy charged with? Meaning, what was he found guilty of?
He's going to do 4 years and he's going to be free, which is...
So by the time there's another election, Diddy's going to be free?
And by the way, there's a whole section where they interviewed the jurors.
Yes, haphazard. So J-Lo is getting plowed, or I don't know, to be honest. I've never really looked into what went on at those parties, just heard a few things. Yes, and I would almost imagine that she was also somebody who would help lure other types of people who need that female encouragement, okay, that can oftentimes go along with those situations. They like to make their interested victims feel safe and welcomed and soothing, So I would imagine she played a part in a lot of that. So yes, she was. And so was Kevin Hart.
Okay.
The jurors sided with Diddy.
I don't think I had the sound clip of what sounded to be him and P. Diddy having some fun, very loud fun. It didn't sound very fun either, by the way. It sounded rather painful and torturous. But hey, yeah, I mean, if that's what those guys are into, that's what they're into. Oh, did I mention that TD Jakes is listed in all of that stuff? Is TD Jakes? Yes, another creepy minister.
Diddy.
How do you mean?
You have to see what they're saying in the documentary.
They sided
with Diddy.
Yes.
In what capacity?
Because they felt bad for him. They're just trying to take advantage of him. They're trying to take money from a rich guy, and that's all this is. It is a conspiracy. He wouldn't do such a thing. The jurors were siding with Diddy, which it's a spectacle. The guy's going to get out and he's going to put a big party together, and people are going to go to the party. And
a lot of baby oil.
A lot of baby oil. By the way, there's a whole story with the baby oil.
Johnson business.
The guy who was the one that was hooking up with Cassie while he was watching.
Yeah.
And they're going at it.
I remember that guy.
He talks about the whole thing. And one time when Diddy was about to go to kill him, killed Kid Cudi because Cassie ran away to go hook up with Kid Cudi. He calls Cassie calls Diddy's assistant whose mother used to be a cocaine addict, who died at a young age, and she had to take care of it. So she's like, I'm used to personalities like this. This is Diddy's assistant. She calls the assistant to say, I'm with Kid Cudi. Diddy can cheat on you. You can't cheat on Diddy.
Yes.
He says, if he finds that he's going to kill you, well,
It's
guess
always
who
a
finds
one-way
out?
street
Diddy
with
finds
these
that. Diddy
people.
grabs a gun, says, we're going together, tells the girl, takes her to.
Do you think Hitler's mistress was cheating around? No, she wasn't. She's being a good girl, or else she would have lost her fucking head like everybody. Off with their head. That's what they do. What did Johnson and John? You know, I have a horrible. I was still in LA, and Disneyland is actually in Orange County. It was down the street where I used to live, and I used to work there. And I went there one time to go make money. Yeah, I used to make money in Disneyland. Don't ask me how. I can't tell you. It's illegal. So it's only illegal till you get caught, kids. No, I'm just kidding. Don't listen to me on any of that stuff. All right. Anyways, I had put on some my knees and stuff. I felt really dry, and I put on like baby oil and stuff like that. And I hadn't used the crap in years. And I was wearing jeans, and I went down there. And I was like, damn, why is this itching so bad? And it just was getting worse. It was getting worse. And I went in the bathroom, pulled my pants down. I looked, and I had a rash from my ankles all the way up to where I had stopped putting that crap on, and I had to leave. It was so bad. So you can be allergic to baby oil. So P. Diddy and all your cohorts, maybe somebody's allergic. Maybe you got to use a different brand. Just saying.
Go to find Cassie because they're going to kill Cassie. I mean, listen, Kid Cudi and Cassie was this 19.
Statute of limitations, it depends on what it is. Like, if I wanted to sue somebody from stealing from me, and they did, if I didn't get it done within 3 years, the statute would have ran out. I think assault, I think it's 10 years, but they keep changing the laws on so many things. I'm not sure without looking it up, but it used to be, I think, 10 years.
Year-old coming up, attractive, drop dead gorgeous, and he was all what, like, there's a whole part about Diddy.
Oh God, a long time ago. I was like 25. I'm not telling you how old I am. Get out of here.
Where he wanted to hook up with his friends' girls.
No, I know this tactic.
Whoever
Shane.
his
I know
friends'
this
girls were
tactic.
with, he wanted to hook up with.
What
them.
about his friends' boyfriends?
That comes
Did a lot
on
of gay
later on.
stuff too, no?
But you know what he does? He finds out who Suge Knight's side chick was in Atlanta. He gives her a $50,000 diamond ring to hook up with Suge Knight's because Suge was a boss of Death Row Records, and it's his way of saying, "I have to get even with Suge."
Because
So
Suge went up
he
on
buys a $50,000 diamond ring or diamond necklace for this girl, whatever. There's a lot.
That beat, you know that beat because he went. Remember, it was the Hip Hop Source Awards where Suge went on stage. It was like,
This is nothing new. They always go through the broads to get after whoever the target is. This is, and if it's not the broads, it's the kids too. You know what I mean? So,
hey man, if you don't want, your producers dancing all up in the
All up
videos,
in the
come to
videos,
Death
of
Row.
course.
Oh, they hated each other.
And then Diddy gets up on stage and he says, "Listen, I heard somebody says that if you don't want your, this to get in the videos, here's what I'm all about. I'm about all of us celebrating each other's
Don't you
successes, and I just
tell.
want to give a shout out to all the winners tonight."
Yeah.
And then behind closed doors, he says, "I got to take this guy
Taking
out."
him out. Wow.
What do you think was? I want to bring up some lyrics. What do you think was Diddy's motivation? Is it money? Is it power?
Evil?
Is it psychopathy? Is it Machiavellianism?
And envy, control, limelight.
you,
he has
where
to be
you
the face and
been?
nobody can have it.
I started at
Envy. He has to be the face. He has to
5:15
be the
my time, I
limelight.
think.
Nobody can have it more than him.
And obviously, he's the reason that he became super famous. He was the producer for Biggie, and Biggie was numero uno.
Yep.
1 and 2, Tupac and Biggie.
And the guy who was partners with, the guy that brought him up, type in Diddy's first mentor. This is the guy that Diddy went and worked as his assistant at a young age that
What's
took
his
him
name?
in.
Who is
Andre
it?
Harrell.
Who?
Andre Harrell takes him to the founder of Uptown Records. And you know what Andre Harrell does?
What does he do?
He fires him because he says, Diddy's getting out of control, disrespecting me.
Mhm.
He fires Diddy and tells Diddy, you can leave and you can take only one client. And guess who he takes? The
Biggie?
only client he takes is, he says, you can take Biggie. Nobody else is coming with you. He allowed Diddy to leave with only Biggie. And that's when he starts Bad Boy. and he gives 25% to that guy and 75% to his mom.
Interesting.
This is the guy that mentored him. That's the guy everybody wanted to work for.
That's the 25% guy?
No, Andre
Oh,
Harrell
gotcha.
is the founder of Uptown Records, which everybody was under. He mentored Diddy, and he's a legend in the
Diddy
game.
became bigger than him.
If you know Andre Harrell, he's like a legit G in this game.
Well, back to the Cassie thing. If you want to explore lyrics and be like, well, how literal are we going to take this? So you know the song that goes, last night, couldn't even get an answer. I tried to call.
One of my favorite beats.
So
great
song,
Tell
Keisha
me
Cole.
what-
Yeah. At the end of the song,
I would almost venture to guess, and this is speculation. Of course, him and young Diddy were getting it on.
he's calling her through the whole video.
There's
I
no
couldn't
holds
get an
barred on
answer.
that.
He leaves her a voicemail. Do you know what he says on the voicemail? Here it is right here. He goes, hey, what's up? I've been trying to reach you all.
Okay, to answer the question, it's all of the above. Okay, so normally in those situations, it's all of it going on all at the same time. Or certain people will, branch off and go into a different room, but usually it's both. It's both straight and gay. There's nothing. They're all doing shit at the same time, really.
All night. This stuff ain't funny, not picking up my mother effing calls. You better stop playing with these mother feelings. You know how much I love you, right?
And now you see why Diddy's music career was not very good, because he can't sing. I mean, no offense, but I don't really think rapping is a huge talent. And he couldn't even do that one well. I would say he's a poor speaker in public settings. He's not a very good dancer. So what is he good at? Well, you just found out he's good at instigating and putting together social networking and feeding unquenchable appetites. Wherever there's remember, a demand, there's always a supply. Okay. And so he's going to go where the demand is, and the demand is going to be ass, and it's going to be drugs, and a whole lot of everything else in between, and a lot of that.
And they're going to get a completed second zone for a couple of seconds, and then I couldn't get in touch with you, and I'm ready to move on. And I'm going to shoot the mother effer up. You
Sarcastic is in the house.
So this is
hey,
he's basically saying to his girl,
hey, boobs, you feeling better? Yes, I am feeling better. Do you notice I am no longer having my voice gone? Yes, I have my voice back. Thank you. And I put my computer in to get worked on. It's going to have a bill attended to it. I'm waiting to see what the bill is. So if anybody gives, it's going to go towards the bill on the computer, which now the estimate went from $300-400. I might be looking at another $200 to $300. And I'm like going, is it worth it? I don't know. I'm damn near at a new computer price. So we'll see.
girl, yo, you don't pick up my call?
I'm
gonna come shoot up your house.
It's almost as if
I don't
he
know how
told
much
everybody.
literal we can take these words, but certainly when there's smoke,
you know
there's
what
fire.
it is. You know what it is. You know how comedians sometimes when they get caught, when they try to get extremely analytical with database, and then somebody catches them, somebody's super brilliant,
I'm just
and
a
then they're
comedian.
like, I'm just a comedian.
Like Dave Smith.
In here, what rappers can get away with is what? This is entertainment. It's just a song.
Of course.
This is not real. I don't mean this. It's entertainment. It's just rap. Tom, you look like you want to say something.
No, this
Speaking
genre
against the
of
rap.
music.
Yeah, until the crime starts fitting all of the material, and now you're looking at serial behavior, So it just depends on whether or not they're going to. I mean, they've had a lot of shit on this guy forever. There's assault charges all over the place. Most people don't even know that Will Smith had assault charges all over him. Like one of his last assaults, I believe, was in 2014. A little bit after him, I'll put it out there. A little after him getting caught in bed in a hotel room with another dude. Okay, everybody knew forever that guy was more leaning that way than a switch hitter. Okay, that's why he has a marriage of an arrangement with Jada, and she was always a drug dealer. Most people don't even know that. And she'd show up to all these parties where Will would go. She was associated to Tupac since she was 12 years old, and she was dealing forever. And she's still dealing. She still keeps Will supplied. All right. You ever want to know? Have you ever seen them red rings and shit around his eyes? How many people here are familiar with Coke and all those downers and shit? Well, I am. I'm familiar with that. I never did the shit, but I've been around people who have, for sure.
Pick is not my lane.
Yeah.
No. This genre is not my lane, but it's really sad because you see it. You see it. The psychology of crime. You see it in so many other areas. The denial, the narcissism, and stuff like that. Elizabeth Holmes had it and defrauded $100 million from investors. Ended up in prison without like the violence and the foreshadow.
Why does everybody say that when I'm not resting my boobs on my desk? I am totally not. Now, look, this is underneath, okay? I'm just tall enough that it's right underneath. Oh, wow. When I plop them on there to rest my back, and my neck, ow, then we know we've accomplished something. And then you can really say, Star, I just saw you. Is your back hurting today? And I would be like, yes, my back is hurting today.
Shadowing and the tipping off through the lyrics, you see the psychology of people who, they get on that rail and they're just that train. They're the head of the train and they're going here. Nothing can get in front of it. Nothing can distract it. People are tossed off that don't support it, and it's a psychology of crime.
You know who I want to hear from? Ray Dalio.
Yeah, because
you know that they have a relationship.
Together.
Ray Dalio and Diddy. Ray Dalio was kind of a mentor.
Yeah.
To Diddy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything illegal. 0%. I don't know anything about that.
Let me ask Shane while we're all here together. Shane, are you feeling good enough that you would want to come on here in the next couple of days or 48 hours? Just say 48 hours, and we can do a little thing on Kennedy's and their connection to Israel and money and resources. So let me know if you are interested in that. He says, sure. Okay, cool. And then we're supposed to do a thing on Ireland. So if there's any new updates, let's make sure we got like 5 15-minute videos max. Otherwise they run too long with commentary in between, unfortunately. And we'll put together what's going on also in Israel, because unlike some Americans, I like to know what's going on in Europe. Because you know why? Well, more than most of my people come out of Europe. And then whatever's happening there swings on over here to us Yanks. So
I was a mentor of his because Combs and Dalio, they were at some award. It was alphabetical. Here they go, right here. Founder of Bridgewater Associates, one of the richest men in the world, hedge fund guy. Help him to advance his success to the next level. Would love to hear what Ray Dalio has to say on Diddy. Would love to hear
creepy
if you love
Haphazard says, wow, I'm finding out new shit and that for real. I didn't know a lot of this stuff. Well, in your own personal life, is it going to help you in your own personal life to know all of this? Probably not. So, it's okay that you don't know all of this stuff. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know for a while. Don't worry about it. But you're here to have fun and hear some new stuff, right? So I'm glad you're here and you're experiencing this with me and us here at School of Thought.
Christmas as much as we do, Kai. We got 3 Christmas trees in the house. It's
3.
a spectacle. Every Christmas when, Thanksgiving ends, that following Friday, I have to carry this 10-foot tree that weighs 600 pounds. And the family waits for me to come through, and we get this big tree. We put it in there, and I go up the ladder. And I'm telling you right now, every year I'm getting closer to falling. Okay, I had it under control at 43, 44.
I saw the ladder.
At 47, Vinny, I am so high. I'm so high that if a little bit slips, I'm falling on my back. We're doing podcasts out of a wheelchair.
Nobody's helping you?
And it's always like, can you put the star all the way up top? I'm like all the way trying to put this thing up. I think there's something going on. Like, it's like an inside job.
Why don't you get one of your sons to do it, huh? Why don't you toss one of your kids up there, Patrick? They can do it. You can catch him. It'll be no problem for you. He's what, 6'3" or 6'4"? Some big ass tall Arab dude.
There's a story right there.
You have to do it yourself.
Yeah. No. It's a blast. Obviously, everybody loves it, and Dylan loves decorating the tree. I hope for those of you guys that do as well. We love Christmas, and our Christmas merch is officially out. And the hat that we couldn't.
Of course, it was a
single
lead-in plug for merch. You sneaky, sneaky man. You shameless plugger, you. I appreciate the grift and the hustle. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Pretty soon I will be doing this. I will do some stuff to make some money, which, by the way, I am making a little commercial now for the supplements I actually use every day, and I've been using them for, holy crap, at least 10 years, okay? Stop trying to figure out how old I am. Ignore that part. But for at least 10 years, I've been using this crap, and it's not crap at all. It's a nutraceutical, and if you don't know what a nutraceutical is, it is a pharmacy-grade vitamin, okay? The difference is they actually work, and I've taken most stuff, and most stuff does not work, just like this stuff that I introduced to all of you that my doctor has me on. It cost me a flippin' arm and a leg and a left testicle if I had one to pay for it, okay? And it's making me sick because of the competing bacteria in there. But this is a nutraceutical, okay? So all of those are also nutraceuticals. So stomach issues, blood pressure, all kinds of stuff. This is the type of stuff that you want to take. So I'm making a little commercial and I'm putting it together. And this is not stuff that I'm just trying to sell. This is stuff that I pay for. And I take every single stinking day of my existence. All right? Because it's part of the protocol. She has me on and has had me on for a while for leaky gut. Yes, I have stomach problems, especially when I get done taking all these antibiotics. I have even more stomach problems with all these antibiotics. So remember, kids, during this cold and flu season, if you're going to be taking antibiotics, remember to replace all of your gut flora by eating good things like good bacteria inside of yogurt. Remember, most yogurts that are commercially sold in grocery stores has none of the probiotic in it. They've done tests on it. It's just sugar and dairy. All right. So you want to look for one that doesn't taste as good. All right. Stay away from the sugar. Sugar is inflammatory to the body. We're going to be getting more into this health stuff because, well, I've been doing this since I was a teenager. I'm going to make you suffer, and you're going to go through this journey with me. All right. I'm going to get some of you up to speed. And then me and Shane are going to be doing a thing on the Kennedys for fun. And I'm still putting together my man stream. All you men who need some loving out there, I got you covered. I'm finishing stuff and I'm getting it all together. So we talk about your testosterone and the importance of it, steroids, how to use it, why you use it, when to use it, should you use it, and things about impotence, okay? Because, well, impotence is on the rise in America. Does anyone know this? Yes. Impotence at a younger age is on the rise here in America. Now, mind you, America has the lowest sperm count in the world. We're also having issues with progesterone for the ladies. So I'm still putting all of that together, and me having strep and not knowing that I had strep because I didn't have any of the normal symptoms, put a little bit of a damper. I was very sick, very, very sick. ER sick, okay? But I'm here. I'm not dead. And I'm coming back, kids. And I'm still putting together that album for 2026 so I can put together a live venue. And y'all can show up if you want to show up. That would be wonderful. If you can't, that's cool. But that's still where I'm gearing and headed towards because I'm still an entertainer at heart. And I miss it. And if I'm not going to be going around doing it for somebody else, not like I've really tried either, but I'm going to do it for myself. Where I have control, I'm going to do the material I want to do, and not just pay to go out and hype up the crowd and get things going the way I used to. So here we are. We're going to come to the end of the stream. Let's see how much more is left of that. I do believe it's over. Yes, it is. And we are going to say our goodbyes. I hope you all have stood under the mistletoe. And if you haven't, you get an opportunity. And hopefully the other person is cute and doesn't have oral herpes. And I hope you all are safe and warm and you have family and people who love you and that you love surrounding you at this time. I know that this can be a very depressing time of the year for people. It's not my favorite time of the year because of those reasons, but you know, we're going to be okay. Remember, you can always seek help and look for help if you need it. But I want to say to all of you, I'm so glad that you came, and I thank you for spending time with me. If you haven't already, please remember to like the video to help me in the algorithms. Subscribe. I will probably be streaming again tomorrow with something interesting and profound. And me and Shane are going to put some stuff together. We're going to have some fun. Okay. So thanks for joining me, everyone. I'm going to go help somebody else with their stream. I'm going to go and I'm going to sign off for now. Thank you for being here. Merry Christmas. God bless you all and keep you. And I will see you later. Ta-ta. Bye now.